It's a minute after 7, I believe, and so it's now called our council meeting. And so first we'll have an opening exercise with the council board.
Thank you. Good evening. I call first our neighbors at First Baptist Church and Deacon Roper, gracious enough to come here to lead us in the opening prayer. Thank you. Stand or bow our heads and not. Stand. We can stand.
Once again, Father, we are calling on your holy name. Heavenly Father, there is no other name under heaven which we can receive other than the name of Jesus. Heavenly Father, we want to ask a special blessing upon Mayor Woolsey as he leads the town of James Island to higher heights. Heavenly Father, you are asking you, give his staff wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of the Holy Spirit. And then, Father, we are asking you, as we are under the blood, Heavenly Father, would you please heal the land of the Holy Spirit. These and other blessings I ask. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you.
To the flag of the United States of America, to the republic which stands one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Our next item on the agenda is our public hearing for an ordinance 2021-3, the ordinance on pieces of compensation for mayor. Speak on that issue.
The question? You can go ahead and come on.
Oh, okay. This is Mary Ann Henry.
Good evening, Marianne. I just got back in town and I did not having a lot of research and background on this issue. But I heard about it, wanted to be here this morning. I am not opposed to raising the salary to 48,000. What I think is vitally important is that this be a full-time job for someone, and that it not be a side hustle for someone who's an independent contractor or marketing rep or an attorney or something like that. It should be something that somebody comes here, they work with the staff, they're here 8 to 4 or 9 to 5 or whatever the hours are here. I think it needs, I would love to see someone be able to give their all in heart and soul to the town of James Island. And the other issue being that I think it's important that it be, the job itself be advertised, especially to women and people of color. Until at the last election, we really only had white men on our town council. And we really need to see our council be representative in of the people of James Island. And so, nothing, no offense, nothing against white men. Some of my favorite people. But it's important that this be full-time and be marketed and advertised so that we get a fresh perspective and diversity in our town. And I thank you.
Thank you. That was one person who signed up to speak, so I will call the public hearing closed. Next, we'll go to public comment. So there's no one who signed up for public comment. And so now we'll go to the presentation of awards and recognition to the James Island High School athletic program and coaches. And then we'll go So welcome, you all come up forward, you're on the agenda at this time. Okay. And so some months ago, we, soon after all your successes, we, passed a resolution, unanimously, which I will now read. Whereas the hard work, dedication, sportsmanship, and exceptional teamwork of the 2021 girls soccer, boys soccer, girls cross country, girls track, and field team has enabled these athletes to earn AAA state championship title on the baseball team, winning Lower State. And whereas winning the 2020-2021 championship team has brought outstanding honor and recognition to the James Island Charter High School on a local and state level. And whereas the entire coaching staff, parents, faculty, and student body at James Island Charter High School were instrumental in guiding the team to victory through their entire camaraderie. Now, therefore, I, Bill Wilson, Mayor, and Council members Dan Wolf, Cynthia Donato, Jared Milliken, and Aaron Troy Millenax of the Town of James Island, to hereby recognize and warmly congratulate James Island Charter High School on the 2021 championship team on its spectacular accomplishments. Thank you so much. Okay, that's great. So, Coach Yvonne White. Congratulations. Coach Kim Crowe.
I'll get yours.
Head coach Matthew Spivey. Head coach David Lee. And head coach Mike Ross.
Thank you, sir.
We also have the athletic director.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
No tickets for the rest of the day. See how later you got there.
Next, we have a motion for the minutes.
I have one small change to the minutes.
We have a proposed amendment.
Yeah, it's page 4, under resolution to increase town council. I stated that the new member is going in 2025 for a 4-year term, not a 2-year term. That's a change.
Okay, so we'll make that correction. And that's this evening. All right, then there's no objection to that correction. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So that passes. All right, next, we go to information reports, we will find. Actually,
Yes, I'll go over that, and I wasn't here this evening. Really, there's not much to report, this is the first month of the new fiscal year. The franchise fees, that is, our Dominion payment, which we get in the beginning of every year. And in one lump sum instead of quarterly, as most of the other ones are. Let's see. Units, we did have a first payment to the audit, we have already been down here, they've been doing some early work. And they will be back in September to finish that up. Park maintenance, besides some of the, recurring costs we have at Kennedy Park, such as the janitorial security cameras, that also includes $675 for, just replenishing playground chips and some of the plantation mix on the trails. When we have large rains, it's washed out from time to time. And at the Arts and Cultural Center for operating, we have already purchased some, a hanging system over there with some artwork already displayed. And that's about all I have.
Any questions? Okay. So next we'll go to the administrative report.
We had our closeout site visit with FEMA for the North South project, and I have to say, I think the North South project would be a poster child for hazard mitigation projects. While he was there, beautiful blue egret flew in, and, you know, they were all taking pictures and very impressed with how the project turned out. So, so that's closed out, and we should be getting reimbursement, final reimbursement, probably by the end of this month. We received 3 proposals on the solicitation for lobbying services. I sent you all those electronically. You also have them there in front of you. Letter to residents went out regarding our public meeting for Oxcroft and Mariposa Mines. That will be Monday, August 23rd at 6 p.m. I've only heard from one resident so far, so hoping for good attendance. The town revised so we had submitted for Regatta Road sidewalk for CCC. We also had submitted for Dills Bluff Phase 3 construction for TST. We were not awarded TST, they ran out of funds. So we were able to quickly at the last minute revise our application for CTC to include them both. Dills Bluff being more expensive was awarded because we think that priority number 1. So they did award that to us. And they are hoping that there's about another $50 million that could be in this infrastructure bill going to CTC projects. And Charleston County could get about $2 million of that, which would be about what they had to roll out this year. So she's, they're very hopeful that Regatta could also be funded as well. Let's see. Update on the solar panels. So, long story short, what we'll need to do is we'll need to put out a request for qualifications for consultants for solar panels. Reason being, speaking with the design team of Leolio and also with Alder Energy, who was the consultant for the PSC power station, and a local firm here. They, it's not something you can bid out for proposals to get costs because there's a lot of detailed information that you need beforehand. And so what they'll do is once, you all award select a consultant, they will look at our facilities as a whole and, look at, the best placement, the best, which facility, would they invest on, what the return on investment would be. And we could go over all of those numbers before we make a final decision on cost and location. So we'll be working on that and getting that out for bid. That's about all I have.
Any questions?
Yeah, I like the idea of doing that with the solar panel, study. I also like the idea that we can perhaps choose a, vendor that can do multiple things for us. And maybe even when we put bus stops in, as part of the Retake Poly Road project, we could have solar panels on those as well. And somebody would be ready to go with that. I like that. Thank you.
Welcome.
Any other questions? Hearing none, thank you so much. Now we will go to the memo on the part.
So I'd like to introduce you all, if you haven't met her yet, Ms. Caroline Self. Caroline, you want to come up and introduce yourself to everyone?
I put one for
I'm Caroline Sell, and I'm the new development coordinator at G7 Arts and Cultural Center, and we are hitting the ground running. I first have to thank the amazing people that I work with, and Ashley's been amazing. The mayor he's out there working on landscape use day. I mean, Francis has been amazing. And so I hope everybody got your invitation for the name. So that's going to be September 13th at 5:30. And we'd like to have some wonderful things. We've got an exhibition currently by Mary Edna Frazier, who's a notable boutique artist. And hoping to get her to do a talk for the opening as well. And then coming soon, we have our history exhibit based on our historic sites of James Island booklet, which looks amazing. Can't wait to see that. And then we also have a traveling exhibit coming from the South Carolina State Museum. So that's going to be textiles, innovations, and communities. So that will come September 1st. We're going to go to come in with that, and then that will be installed until the end of December. And then we have a young entrepreneurs program that's going to be starting up soon as well, and that's going to attract middle school and high school age students and hopefully give them life skills and tools to help with working through financial situations and stress and just general life things and doing some fun art and stuff. And then the big thing that we have in the works is Jonathan Green exhibit for the Mojo Festival. So look for that September 30th through October 10th. And hoping to get him here as well to do a talk.
Thank you. Any questions?
I just can't say enough great things about Ms. L. She has really hit the ground running, securing this, our spot in the Motion Festival, and then also getting this traveling exhibit, which I think is such a good idea. Really keep things fresh over there. So, thank you.
Well, we look forward to doing that for sure.
Thank you so much.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you. Public work report.
Yes, that's me again. Mark is under the weather. So we had a value request service in July. One was drainage related. Staff has been monitoring the Lighthouse Boulevard drainage and sidewalk project. And there's been several site visits and coordination meetings with the contractor. That project is still scheduled to meet their substantial completion date of September 29th. Um, Staff source a sweeping machine to clean the pervious pavement on the seaside sidewalk. Sadly, at the end of that, this machine did not work appropriately, so we need a refund. But, the pervious asphalt needs to be vacuumed from time to time because it does not drain properly. So we're gonna be still looking into that to get those vacuumed. Staff cleans in signs in July and saw 3 new stop signs. Houston back pothole to pothole patch, for potholes, and just a lot of right of way vegetation cutting this summer, this past month in particular. Oh, and one more thing that was not on here, we did receive this week our DOT encroachment permit for the Highland Drainage Sidewalk project, so I will be putting out bids.
Drainage problem.
Drainage, don't see sidewalk, yes, drainage.
Right, any other questions?
I have a question. You're saying about the pervious pavement on Seaside? So whenever we put in pervious pavement of whatever sort, then we're gonna have to vacuum it periodically, we can't use a blower on it?
You can use a blower, and that's what we've been doing. But because it's porous, it will, it really needs to be vacuumed. And those streets that are pervious, like, Ben Road and Honey Hill, the county has the large trucks the street sweepers that do that. But the sidewalk is just, they don't have anything that's quite,
Okay.
that fits it, so.
How much, not that I'm against pervious surfaces, but it seems like it's got a high upkeep cost. How can you have to do this? Just, it's been once every few years.
Well, we've never done it for Seaside, and that sidewalk has been probably about 3 years.
Okay.
And, you know, some of the cost savings with that is, maybe more maintenance, but you're not installing the drainage infrastructure that you would have if it wasn't.
Okay. That sounds great to me. Thank you.
Well, and then you got it. We have an encroachment permit, which is good news. We have sourced they're responsible on-call contractors that DOT has to do this type of stuff that's actually, they're kind of on a state contract. And so I know that Mark was reaching out to them this week, to get pricing. There's a local one, I think the closest one is in Somerville. So we're just trying to secure a contractor now to get those installed.
Okay, thank you. You're welcome. Any other questions? All right, now let's go on to the Iowa Sheriff Patrol report. Dan?
Good evening. All right, so I've spoken with Sheriff Cullen this morning. We executed a search warrant this morning on Jeffrey Drive for residents in reference to assisting City of Charleston locating some stolen property while their large amount of drugs were located, and a separate search warrant was sought. Search warrant, that search warrant was sought, came back and located several guns and large amount of drugs, and charges are still pending. We're still working on the case, but there was a lot of different items in there that were also located that weren't able to give all the details on, but that was that house that we're extremely familiar with. So that house was tied to all the 3 years ago, all the robberies and the car break-ins, same location. 1,000 block of Fort Johnson Road, sometime between the new year, January 1st and July 14th, someone was missing a firearm that was in their unlocked shed. It's been missing in the last 6 months. They just realized it. That's where they was. 1100 block of Green Hill Road on July 16th around 4 a.m. There was a call of alleged shooting was received. It was unfounded. Unknown caller, notice of shooting, no one in residence, and caller didn't answer, never answered phone back. So it was unfounded. We had 800 block of Polly Road. There was a road rage incident where someone brandished a firearm Kurt Money Man Pawn Shop. We never located the person that did. 1100 block of Winmore, July 21st to the 24th, those 3 days. Someone left their side yard fence. They put some fishing poles up against their fishing rods, and 6 of them were stolen as they left the drive pretty clean. At a business, the Supersize Car Wash on Poly Road, vacuum was broken into, coin taken up on July 29th after 8 p.m. There was a burglary at the 1100 block of Midvale, where the window on the backside of the home was broken on July 21st. Medication taken, and the suspect is going to be a relative. 800 block of 10th Street, between 5 a.m. between July 26th and 31st. A birth certificate and envelope was taken from the mailbox and neighbor found in the bushes. There was also a larceny on Quill Drive on July 5th, where some bicycles were taken and were sold to the carport home. We had a outdoor storage unit on Winmore sometime in a couple days between July 30th and August 1st with damage to the frame, locking mechanism, nothing was stolen. At the 1500 block of East Witter Street, on August 2nd, we had someone help at gunpoint, victim walked outside, saw 2 masked men, and victim was struck in the head with a gun, and the shooter shot him to the ground next to him, stole his wallet, ID cards, plus $200 cash. So far, that case is still open. There's an auto break-in 1100 block of Pauline, and unlocked vehicles, stolen checkbook was taken on July 31st. And an auto break-in August 6th, August 8th on Bill's Bluff, where approximately $2,000 in tools, toolbox were taken to the back of the pickup truck. And we had 800 block of Poly Road, an armed robbery on August 10th, where a victim was walking from the break to Casa Fiesta, and he was followed and stopped in front of Mike's Bikes, who visited the gunpoint and stole $300, his wallet, card, and phone. We had a shoplifting where on 9 block of Poly Road, 3 bottles of wine, 3 cans of ravioli, peanut butter, and mac and cheese were stolen. And let's see, in the Don's Pizza, we had a wallet that was stolen, the boy took the wallet. Deputy looked at the video and observed the wallet being stolen and the wallet was returned. And then we had a roommate, last one, on Pinwood Place on August 1st. We had a roommate steal approximately $3,000 in power tools, and the victim moved out of county. So it was busy, summertime, kind of, like I said, some of these right here have been solved, some of them are what's active. All we have.
Questions? So I find it, you heard anything about license plate?
No, we're still waiting on,
We are doing the project right now.
last time we took about a year to get that. It is such a long, there's so many steps and hurdles to go through. Ravenel's getting them and they're the same type of. It's more of a long solution. That's what we're hoping for. Absolutely. Absolutely.
So it is concerning the armed robberies.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. There's one, the one that happened over here on Witter Street. There was a lot of details in there that were inconsistent. The one over here on Poly Road, not a lot of details in that. There was no camera that pointed in that direction. Not a lot of detail. We don't think they're tied together by any means, but you know, if it's positive or negative.
Oh, thank you. All right, so next we'll go to request for approval by staff. First is our contract extension and review on. So speak to that.
Yeah, so this is our 3rd year. We originally set up the repaint consultant, it was a 3-year contract, so we haven't been renewing these, neither as a city and the county. But on this 3rd year, we probably only spent a total of, I think it was like $12,000 for the entire year because of COVID. A lot of stuff was delayed, and so what we talked about doing, staff with the county and city, was extending the 3rd year by 6 months to sort of make up for some of that loss. So all the funds here have already been committed and budgeted. It's really just extending the original contract by, 6 months. One of the things they were just gearing up on is the, subcommittee for, the kind of Friends of Bali or Bali Business Subcommittee, that they're going to be organizing and, meeting with the Rose, I can't think of the full name of the Rose Consultant, that's the marketing, economic development type consultant. So that will be here real soon.
Is there a motion to approve the final contract?
So moved.
Second, any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye. Aye, opposed? That passes. So next, we'll go to the Gillsborough sidewalk, final phase, scope and speed survey and design.
So this amount right here, we do have budgeted, we received, this estimate a while back in the budgeting season, but, for at least a number, we talked about this last phase. It's a really long segment, but doing the actual design in one phase is sort of more economical, and then probably the construction will have to be broken up into 2 phases. This will be the final leg to cover be ready.
Is there a motion to approve? The second. Discussion. Councilman,
Which side of the road will the sidewalk be on? Is it going to stay on the side that it is presently?
But we don't know yet. So until they do the survey that's included in this cost, they'll know the actual challenges of each side and which one makes the most sense.
Is there any way we can ask that they try to preserve as many grass as possible when they do the survey? In other words, if there's a tree in the way on one side of it, move the sidewalk in more.
Oh, right, yes.
Right.
Councilwoman, Young?
I was just wondering what exactly, if we could get like a breakdown of the council presentation fee, if it's $2,000 for the council presentation, what does that actually cover for the?
I think it covers, there's downtime, and just follow the presentations, probably you, but also just the development. You remember back, I think the last one they did for us, this firm in particular was Regatta. Just kind of going over, each property, the challenges. So it's a little more detailed than just one visit. It's all about, the work that goes into that. And then there's, I imagine with this one, maybe a couple different conceptual designs that y'all maybe decide on, such as what's that one great. So they'll probably, I would think include working through those.
Okay, thank you.
Welcome.
So right now, the sidewalk is what I would call on the west side of the leaving here, it's on the left, there's a little boardwalk, the creek goes up to like Midvale.
Yeah, it's not the seaside right now.
There's that hard bend that is built that place. Power Hill, shore. It just seemed to me, it would, just to your question about what side of the road, so they would have to cross to the other side of something. Those trees and everything in that bend of the road come right to the street, basically, the shoulder.
I think the plan is not to go all the way down to one shore, but it would turn down Fort Sumter.
The red line on there, goes all the way down.
Oh,
Oh. Should not,
So if they did, I mean, they could cross the road right there at Fort Sumter and go down Fort Sumter to Harbor. That would be an option.
that's actually acceptable.
that's a concession.
To cross the road there.
Yes, to go down, I didn't realize.
So am I to understand then that Fort Sumter would be included in the present plan that we're voting on this evening?
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay, then I'm going to have to recuse myself from this vote because I live on Fort Sumter Drive. So I don't think I can vote for this. Interesting how the map that didn't have it on Fort Sumter.
It is, trouble, I'm sorry. I didn't use that.
yeah,
Any further questions?
You would vote for the sidewalk no matter where.
Yeah, I think I have to refrain from voting. Well, I need to give you a written reason. Okay, thank you.
Any further questions? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That passes. Now we'll go to the neighbors, drive sidewalks, building, fees.
yeah, and this amount we also, have budgeted. I will say when we were meeting with all the homeowners for the Madonna Road sidewalk, everyone was in favor of it, but their first question was, when are you gonna finish it all the way to the shopping center? So, just kept reassuring them that was in our long range plan, and we continued chipping away at it. So the design fees for this is $25,500. I think, the hope would be, that the city of Charleston will help contribute to the construction cost when we get to that point.
Is there a motion to approve?
How much, okay, sure, I'll move to approve.
There's a second. Okay, go ahead. I'm going.
So how much is the city going to take in on this?
Nothing on the design.
Nothing on the design, but they will perhaps on construction costs.
I think so. I think that, I know Councilman Jackson has supported that to us in the past, similar with, the Highland Drainage Project,
Right.
where we, footed the bill, moved along, and then they, ended up paying the ditch match to get it built.
Okay, so we can expect maybe some sort of memo of understanding or something with their could cost later.
Yes.
Okay.
I have a question.
Yeah, Councilman.
Engineering study says it goes to neighbors, so it doesn't actually go, it won't be surveying along neighbors.
Yeah.
This is like it says, just Grand Concourse Road, Regatta Road, Grand Concourse to neighbors. To me, it would stop.
This proposal is to go from Nevada to Wales. There's a little sidewalk
Or should we amend it to say that, so that it goes along Regatta to Waco instead of to neighbors?
If you look at the, no, if you look at the, this overview, it does show correctly, and it's the same length of sidewalk, but,
Okay.
goes
It
to-
says
Actually, it's
Nevada
not-
Road, the Harris Teeter entrance, is what it says.
Well, I mean, in the
The thing that
future,
we, the thing that we signed doesn't say that. The thing that we signed says it's just Regatta Road.
I'll make sure to clarify that.
but it is called the neighbor sidewalk project.
It's very no doubt that's what it's about, and I think that we should discuss, it's not happy with this. Anyway, it's not, I think it's important, but it's not desirable that the engineers do that bad job writing this. It's probably a modification of the proposal that we have already done.
Yeah.
So we went from Grand Concourse to the Regatta. And then they taken with that proposal and they cut it and changed it, edited it.
That's,
And made it.
no one's saying the engineers, I for one, I'm certainly not saying the engineers are doing a bad job or anything else like this, which I'm stating. We were just pointing out that the wording doesn't match the picture.
That's
And I'm sure
true.
it's very clever.
So the solution would be to just simply edit this and get the proper language in it.
It was too quick.
Actually, I think I misspoke. You know, there's actually a sidewalk for the shopping center as well.
Behind the garage.
Five and one garage. So it goes to the shopping center. Yeah,
That's cool, just as long as they.
not through the project that the board paid for again.
I mean, words matter, if we're voting on words, I just want to make sure.
Yeah, I think so. We're glad to come. All right, any others? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye. Aye opposed. So it passes. The Brantley Park, phase one, revised plan cost.
Yes, sorry, my paper's back. So the revised plan, does show just the one handicap parking space. And it made the most sense if it is just one, and it will be pervious concrete, to put that on the actual property with the existing drainage as is. And then that was a significant cost reduction, as a lot of that cost was in with the drainage infrastructure.
Motion to approve.
Yeah, I'm gonna make that.
The second. Yeah, for discussion.
Yeah, and we had discussed, I sent an email to Ashley about the fact that it would be a good idea to be very clear with the barricade, preventing access to the dangerous dock that still exists there, and to also perhaps change the pathway so that there isn't easy access to that dock area. In other words, we could put a shrub there or something until the dock comes out, but just to limit any access to that dangerous dock. I think that's an important thing to include. And since we don't see it in the plan, it would be good to make sure that that happens.
I agree. Further discussion.
So, that, all that,
I don't think so. It's a really, as far as the trail is concerned, that's like just an on-site adjustment to the contractor, because they'll lay it out first before they start doing it. Make sure that section is currently such a way that it's not leading to the dock.
we need like gate it all, put the sign up, so it stay off on the safe. You know,
Yeah, whatever it takes, a barricade, not having the easy access to the path, putting a bush in front of it.
So currently, there's
barrel.
basically two by fours across the entrance of the dock, as well as signs. So that already exists at this point. But I think that we could add at least one or two by four. More level. Do a little better job, but I think, generally, I think it's pretty clear that the dock is not supposed to be accessed.
You could rapidly tune fencing around the end, like, where the entrance is, and then wrap around the side, and maybe that like that's where, that kind of thing is a little more creative instead of 2x4s.
Yeah.
Yes.
Netting or something.
Yeah, exactly. You're not changing the something
You can't jump right over the 2 by 4s.
Yeah, that's what I was.
Waterways, there's no, it's not completely practical. We're making it possible. You can make it so.
Like with a chain.
It would be impossible either, because it's not time, but it would be more deterrent for, look, like if you have 2 places on at the park, and one goes one way, and one goes the other, next thing you know, the little one's under the 2 by 4s and on the rickety dock. You know, it was just my suggestion, you know. Can you remind me, actually, if you don't mind, how much the dock, demolition, did we get, I know we had a price on that, did you get it finalized, and how much approximately?
No, well, so they did an alternate, and it was $2,000, we didn't approve that. We did approve moving forward, the engineer getting the permit, which, with OCR, which they're doing, they haven't formally submitted yet, but they're on track to.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Opposed?
No.
Yes, that passes. Okay, so let's go to, purchase of town holiday decorations.
Yeah, so we had some really good participation when we put this out, on the Cognito forums. I included in your packet, all of the votes, and it was a tight race between doing all of them with Carolina Branch or alternating with the Reed and Carolina Branch. So doing all of the Carolina Branch went out. Actually, I voted for one with Reed, but I think that it's actually would be better when you think about storage. You know, it would be a lot easier to probably store them all. But include, you know, some of the feedback we have were, you know, doing some of the multicolored lights, included really minimal cost of some of the large grapevine balls and the different, you know, red and green colors that we can hang from our tree out here.
All right, so is there a motion to approve the Carolina Branch?
The proposal for monster design, yes.
I make it.
Is there a second? Second. Discussion. Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Opposed? Next, the irrigation meter permit report.
So we have a well, out at Kennedy Park. What happens a lot of times is the pump gets silted up a lot, and we're having to use, water from the building. So having a separate irrigation meter for when any water comes out of that shelter, would tremendously save us on our utility costs. So, you know, we did up front $3,900, but it will save us in the long run from high utility bills.
Is there a motion to approve? Is there a second?
Second, for discussion, a little bit of discussion.
Yes, go ahead.
Would it be possible to look into drilling a well there?
Well, we have one, yeah, with the well pump, just, sometimes it doesn't work.
You run out of water?
We don't run out of water, I think it's just the sandy soils out there, and we get a big rain. It's a lot of maintenance and upkeep, but I mean,
Right,
but we use it, and we use the free water as much as we can.
okay. I was just asking.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? That passes. Next, the janitorial service for the James Island Park.
Yeah, I provided that to you all late today, sorry about that. So the generator firm that we use here at Picnic Park, that we've used for a long time and have really good relationships with and trust. Their original quote was $910 per month, which is not a lot if you break it out per visit. But it was more than we were paying here, and so, I went back and actually got another estimate and, shopped around, and had a long conversation with them. There is a, and I knew this, but he, was telling me about there's really just an hourly wage war right now between these businesses. And, he cannot, he's done a good job of keeping people because he's had them there a long time. But, it's very hard to pay staff when they can, go to Target and make $14 an hour. So he's, increased rates and, he's holding on as he can before he increases our rates here at Town Hall, but he says that's probably coming because we've been paying a low rate for 3 years and he's almost to the point where he can't really keep doing it for the cost. But he did price match for me when I was able to get a lower rate, so, which I appreciate. And I think it's important for facilities like this when, we have laptops and other devices laying around that we're using someone that we feel comfortable with and trust.
Is there a motion to approve? The second,
And second.
any discussion? Now, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Passes. All right, so I believe that is all our staff request for approval. Let's go to the land use committee. Council.
Yes, when I attended the planning commission meeting, and they were talking about the 5G small cell devices to be installed, or that they were looking to install, they were in the design process. That was very interesting. I hope everybody was able to get information about that. But also we have a request on, a request to approve repair care work study program. And what this is it would allow for high school students to gain work experience and life skills and trade skills and get paid in the process, also helping some of our repair care recipients that we have here in the county.
So I think that is, we're making a motion in favor of that is.
Yes.
That's the second.
Yes, that's thank you.
Okay, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? That passes. Anything further?
No, thank you.
Next to the, thank you. Environmental beautification committee.
Yes, we have scheduled our next litter pickup and several subsequent pickups for Adopt a Highway. Our next pickup will be Saturday morning, September 4th. The time will be from 9 to 11. This is a great opportunity to get out and help the community by picking up trash along the roadways, a lot of fun. 9 to 11, September 4th. We also scheduled the dates for the next several pickups in the hope that we could put those on the town website and perhaps send reminders in advance so that different community groups might be able to get involved with James Island Drive. The dates for the next several pickups are October 23rd, November 6th, and even next year, January 15th. So these are all upcoming Adopt a Highway litter pickups. For citizens who wish to get involved, this is a great organization. We meet on the third Thursday of every month at 5:30. We're probably going to be meeting via Zoom moving forward. But if you're interested, you may email me or our chair, Amy Paul, and get on our email list. We're also looking for individuals and groups to sign up and help with helping hands. Stan Kozakowski is our contact person for this. If you need to contact Stan to get involved, his number is 860-847-0544. We're looking for community groups, church groups, scout groups. And basically what Helping Hands does is they take care of yards of people that don't have the ability to care for their yards. So people who are elderly or sick can fill out a form and get on the list of Helping Hands. That's all I have.
Questions for Councilman? None, thank you. Next, we will go to the insurance committee, there's no item for 12 public safety committee, Mr. Morris.
Okay, first off, I would like to make an appointment to represent Ocean View. Where you have replaced, Ms. Boland, he had the, as personal buildings that he was representing, so, but he did a great job. She really represented the students, and all the things she's done for us. But I have been given a registration packet, to one range of the garden. The credentials, I think you will send those should be protocol. And I'm going to put that forward.
Second. All in favor, please say aye. Opposed? That passes.
Okay, just, we have our meeting, the 26th of August, which will, be next Thursday, 7th, here. So, that's all I have.
All right, so next we go to the history committee. The history council will not be in August, will be in September. Long time history council member. I had couch and design, that I have nominated for public nomination. Any questions? Thank you. Next, we can follow the road. That's our last report.
There's a steering committee meeting, next Wednesday, so the agenda should be going out tomorrow and Monday.
3 o'clock, right?
3 or 3:30.
All right, we'll let you know. Next, are there any questions? And next we'll go to the drainage committee.
Okay, yes, we have our meeting on, we got Tuesday, August 31st, at 8 p.m. And, so we would like to participate in that one long. Very excited.
Thank you. Any questions? Next, we'll go to the business development committee, Council Revolt.
Thank you. We met on August 10th at 6 o'clock here. I learned that chicken wings are scarce and are really expensive. Hazana, that they gotta take a long way for it. So, and we did talk about some ideas, just kind of bring some ideas to tax relief for small business owners within the town, a business incubator, a small business incubator spot where people who are trying to get something off the ground. And like multiple use possibilities, I guess. But it was a very productive meeting, all members there. I encourage anybody who wants to come in September to come up and help that is.
Any questions? Thank you. Next, we go to the advisory committee.
Yes, the Tree Advisory Committee did not meet this month, but we're scheduled to meet on Tuesday, September 14th. We want to continue our island-wide tree survey and are asking for council to approve an allocation of $8,000 to hire and train interns to conduct the survey for this next fiscal year. This process involves mapping the location, species, needs some help with trees on our island driveways. So we can identify trees that might need attention and locations where we might be able to plant new trees. The interns we hired last spring were able to almost complete the entire survey for Fort Johnson Road, which is one of our scenic byways. It's a lot of trees on that road, whole semester for 3 interns to do that mapping. What we hope to do is finish that and continue mapping all the trees on another location on James Island. I would ask for a second to the motion to continue the program by funding the other group interns to conduct this study.
Any discussion? If none, all fair side. Opposed? That passes. Need more council. That's all. All right, thank you much. Next, James Island Governmental Council, we met, I guess, in the last month, that had a report on the major road projects that were on James Island, discussion of bit of our James Island water quality project. Okay, next we have proclamations and resolution 2021-08, resolution calling for a representative council for 46 members. Is there a motion to approve? For a second?
I'll second for discussion.
Okay, and so, the councilman, Mona, would like to speak now?
Oh, yes, yes, we discussed this, last month in some detail. This is something that has been bounced around quite a while since 2012, 13, 2013. So many other municipalities in this area have a lot less of a population, have a lot more, have more seats than we did. A lot have 6, some get some not have 8. But I think this is something that will increase representation for the people here. And something that it was one day referendum in 2010, I mentioned before, in the past, with 54% of and I'm not sure if, I don't know who discussed your amendment or if you like to discuss it yourself, but it's something that Councilman Milliken proposed in an amendment I thought very good, about having this first election in 2025. Instead of having the last 2 seats at 2-year terms, as originally envisioned, having 2025, have the 2 other seats be decided in 2025 at 4-year terms. So as that some people may feel they have 2-year terms, they may not be as important as the others. And I thought that was a point to be made. Mayor had stated concerns to me that he thought that this might run counter to state law by having this election this year, which I did, understand that. So I would like to make this motion or amend this motion to have this election to coincide with the municipal election in November 2023. So then we would have the election in 2025 for 4 terms. And then not run counter to state law and still accept the company motion of that section.
So if we move to seconded, you would like to make an amendment to change the dates of, the position will be filled in 25, and the election will be held in 23.
The election for the referendum on the ballot in November 2023, and it would say in the referendum, this election would be in November 2025, with 2 additional members at 4-year terms.
Yes, and I think it's just a matter of substituting 2 for 4 under B, under the whereas, so staggering terms such that some members of council will be elected every 4 years. And then down below, in the bold, shall the town of James Island change its number of members of council from 4 to 6, with 2 additional positions filled at the municipal election in November 2025. Then, on the last line, this referendum shall be included on the ballot for the Town of Jamestown election scheduled for November 2023. I think that covers what you
It's
said.
striking. Yeah, and so that's your motion, yes, make that motion, or is that a second?
Yeah, that would be a second.
Okay, so, you put that, it's a 2 years, 4 years, that's unnecessary. The 2020, versus 23, that's 5, versus 21. All right, any, other, any discussion? Yes, Councilman.
So, part of the, which is what, a part of the whereas clause, which is kind of the intent, right, of the operation of it, but if we do this, we push the, to be 2023, all 4 of these seats,
Yes,
Yeah.
then 2 years later, there'll be 2 more seats if this passes.
yes,
And then 2 years later, all 4 of these seats will be.
That's right.
So B would be correct, that there will be some members elected.
yes, yes.
Yes,
I
that's,
would not change it.
so that should be,
Yeah, it would, still stagger term, as.
Staggering terms would mean every 2 years.
That's correct. So,
All right.
actually, so the best approach then is to, comfortable, perhaps we should amend the amendment to strike the 4 years.
Yes, I would make a motion to amend the amendment just to leave B as written.
Is there a second? Second. All, any discussion of that? On favor, we need it for back 2 years. Say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And so passes. Now we're on the agenda that actually just changes the dates that the, election will be filled in 2025, election will be 3.
The referendum.
The referendum will be held. All right, it's really not necessary to specify some state law is pretty plain that the next general election is equal. There's no choice. It won't never. So seats will be filled, if we have the election in 2023, the seats will be filled in 2025, regardless of what we say. Okay, but anyway, that's fine. Any further discussion? All right, hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That passes. All right, now we'll go to a resolution, calling for a face covering in public indoor area promotion. So moved to second.
Second.
I'd like to speak to this resolution, Councilman Rowe.
Yes, I would. We're seeing a spike in COVID again. It's a different disease than it was the last time. It's changed. It's a variant. It's something that should give everybody some pause. And it's something that needs to be respected. And a good way to respect it and to respect your fellow citizens is to ensure that you're not going to spread the disease to them. The best way to do that is through masking and washing your hands. It's the only defense we have. So it makes sense to do what we can to prevent this. And indoor masking is a demonstrated way to prevent the spread of the disease. And I think that we need to continue this behavior until we get the disease under control. At this point, there's too many people that have not been vaccinated, and the vaccine is beginning to lose its efficacy. So we have to make sure that we're doing what we can to keep our health. So that's why we're proposing this resolution.
No discussion. Well, the policy is right here, the policy the town holds now. If this resolution passes, then the policy will hold. Change the resolution, I think that it's unnecessary, so I don't support it.
Actually, I have a So this is for town buildings, like these buildings, these offices buildings.
Yes, only things that are within our immediate area of control.
And so then you don't have an expiration date on this? This goes until,
This is not a emergency. Yes, it would be.
permanent until we rescind it?
There would be a reasonable time to suspend it when we have the numbers to support it and where we've got some sort of guidance from DPAC and other authorities that would tell us that it would be safe to remove things.
Right now, what we have in place is the emergency.
So we have a state of emergency in kind of environment, why that is important is our ordinances. Allow for, online meetings, during state emergency. They don't allow online meetings in other counties. And so by calling state of emergency, this allows for online meetings. So we put it at this meeting online. We sort of presentation to the approach. And other councils, maybe small organizations. To meet online under current conditions or whatever. Right now, the policy of the town, for some time, our policy was that vaccinated, unvaccinated people had to wear masks in property. But that changed about a week ago. People actually and then that can change by. So what this would do would be just a requirement of council, so change it to this, either staff or the council to go back to allow a different policy.
Is the existing policy indefinite,
Yeah. There's no-
which is different than last year when we were voting every month, right?
So those were emergency ordinances. And, one difference is that, the mayor council has substantial authority over town facilities, but council also has that authority as resolutions regarding that. Those emergency ordinances do not apply to our facilities, but rather apply to people in private businesses.
So is this a duplication of what we're already doing?
Yeah,
Just without
it would.
without an end date?
What does that say?
As far as whether or not to pass a resolution
Yeah.
or to keep policy. I did recommend moving towards, masks for vaccinated, unvaccinated. As the county and city have implemented that policy. And, some concern that was raised to me by my staff. Of people not coming in and not knowing whether or not they were vaccinated or not.
So, I have a question. So with this resolution, that means that you at your desk, next to her desk, and we'll all be wearing masks, because that's what it.
It says clearly public areas.
So that's not.
We're in our own office today.
No, I know, I apologize, I misread it, I was reading to where he's starting to not indoor is difficult.
The current policy is, requirement for the mask for the
Right.
I think it's very important to protect staff, and I think that it's also important to ensure that people who are using town facilities, visiting town facilities, are exercising all the cautions necessary to protect staff and one another. And I think that that's what this is about. We're not always here. Other groups use our facilities. And I think that it's a good idea to have something very clear and stated and backed up by council.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? No. No, so that passes. Next, we go to resolution on for this is the resolution policy for the ISP officer for that work. So this is for Deputy Jacob Ruckner,
He's not here.
and he's not here today. But John, will you accept this and
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I spoke to
I'll go
him.
ahead and read.
If you want, I'll give it to you because it's always fun.
Deputy Bruckner is being recognized by his peers for his name's Island Sheriff Deputy. First 2 quarters of 2021 because of his unparalleled work ethic. And whereas Deputy Bruckner is always proactive in his duties, to strive to build relationships with the community, and whereas Deputy Bruckner sets an excellent example for the community and his peers, he goes above and beyond to protect the residents of James Island. And now therefore be resolved, the county of James Island recognizes the outstanding service, commitment, and dedication of Deputy Bruckner as the Island Sheriff Patrol Deputy of the first 2 quarters of 2021. So, please share that. All right, so next we go to ordinances on second final reading. The next, first of those is ordinance 2021-3, an ordinance increasing compensation of the mayor. Is, there a motion in favor? Is there a second?
Second.
Would you like to speak to your motion, Councilman? Oh,
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mayor. We talked about it last time. This is intended to bring out interested members of the town, some residents of the town who maybe dogs about the amount of time that the job requires. I do think the public comment earlier about making a full-time job to go with this is a good idea as well. So, maybe we follow this up with that. I think it's in line with what other towns are paying their mayors. And if we wind up with somebody who gets elected and doesn't need it, they are free to give it right back to them. I'm in favor of it. Would be all.
all right, any, I'm sorry. Any further discussion?
I had a little bit, I was looking this over, I also think I like the compensation. I was thinking maybe 36,000 might be a possibility instead of 48, so it doesn't seem such a big jump. It's just I guess what I want to do is make a motion.
So then, 36,000, is there a second? Also. All right, any discussion of the amendment? Well, I will say, I think that 36,000 is a substantial improvement over 48,000, though it's still unreasonable. And that, the town employs a full-time county administrator, as you can see, administrator keeps track of it. The notion that we need to have a full-time mayor or a full-time county administrator, this doesn't make sense. We of course pay our county administrators substantially more than 48,000 for it. And to have someone who is able to do the job with the quality and competency that we can research and look for females and minorities and hire someone that is the role of the administrator. Whereas the mayor's elected. It's a part-time job. I believe, thinking about it, while I spend a substantial amount of time working at this job, doing things like landscaping, or the cultural center, none of that's really necessary. This job be done in 5 hours a week, easily. As a strong mayor form of government, I do think that it's incumbent on the mayor to regularly process his revenue. And 1 hour a day would be sufficient to do that. Now, the current case, 50,000, that's changed in over a decade, that's changed inflation. And so I think a reasonable pay is more like 17 or 18,000. And at 36,000 is much too low to have to hire someone to work this job full time. I mean, well, certainly I would not, not be able to put on job, teaching the third or convert to 40, 48, 40. That's much too low job for a full-time job. I do not know that council under state law has the authority to require a mayor, council government, to like punch time clock. You do 40 hours a week, or have to pay you hourly pay. I don't think that works. Now, the voters of James Island could, in an election, choose someone who promised to be a full-time. You could. And in fact, in previous elections, there has been some candidates that have made that. Listen, I never did. I always said that I think we need to keep it still, full-time faculty member, and that we will hire a town administrator to operate on a daily basis. And that I thought a reasonable salary in that situation, the mayor provides general statutory supervision to the town administrator is, that had time without a reasonable salary. But again, there's this close at time, so I think some increase would be appropriate. But 48,000 comfortable, 48,000 municipalities pay. Certainly also statistics, absolutely. That was the number 3 in the state. Charleston would pay more, Charleston would pay more, we would pay. You look at the size of our staff, we have hundreds of staff members in a budget of hundreds of millions of dollars. We have a budget of $5 million in 14 staff. So here we would be of the 100 municipalities in the state. We would look at them all, and there'd be all these municipalities, most of them are paying just about what we are paying. That's the by far. You pay more. But there would be these giant municipalities pay, high salaries to their governors and who work full time, don't have staff members. Now they have lots of staff members, but they don't have the county position in either of those municipalities. They work full time on other jobs. And then there would be us, number 3, right? The budget that is like 5% of it, 10% of it. Now we have a substantial population, a lot smaller than this. But what's more relevant is the size of the staff, the size of the budget. And I think that the salary we have today is based on sound thought, and that I think that there's plenty of people in Island who would be willing to put in 5 hours a week, not necessarily like me going to the park and watering every day, because that's not their income. But there would be plenty of people who would be more than willing to do this. I think it's completely unnecessary.
I don't know who showed up at the last election, all these people. So you plan to run again in 2023?
I don't see how that's really relevant to.
My intent is to draw other members of the town, other residents of the town. And so last time it was you, no one else, which to me indicates that no one was interested.
Well, that'd be one interpretation. My
you're trying to
interpretation
bring
is
in-
the majority of James Island doing a good job. And that the minority who don't think they're had a good job, I think they can win. And it's a political position. So it's like, can you win? It is important.
So our mayor would be our
Okay, you need someone to say, I will run because I think out.
Our mayor could be doing things that we're paying other people to do by law. Our mayor could save money on anything, like something like that. If we got to spend $100,000 on that, that would cause an increase maybe 3 years. So if you think 48 is too high, okay, there's an amendment out there talking about it.
So,
It's time to work on it. Wow.
So anyway, any further, discussion on the amendment for 36,000?
Yeah, I think, Mayor, that you're selling yourself to the shore. First of all, there wouldn't be a town without you. That's the first thing. You were instrumental in putting this town back together. Yeah, you go to the park and you water all the time, you do landscape work. I've seen you pulling weeds by our signs, all right? You're always out in the community. Cynthia brought up an interesting point when I spoke with her earlier today. And she said, most other municipalities don't have to interact with as many entities as Mayor Woolsey has to interact with. You have to interact with Folly Beach, PSD, City of Charleston, Charleston County on a regular basis. You have to interact with all their different funding mechanisms and groups and putting together a sidewalk that runs through 3 different municipalities. That's not an easy thing to do. And these are things that you do. You've learned how to do that. The learning curve for the position is pretty steep. And what you're saying is 5 hours a week, I laugh at that. That's not what you're doing. And you know it. You're spending a lot of time helping the citizens of this municipality. And it's something that I think you need to be proud of, and I think that you need to be compensated for it. I'm not saying 48 or 36, 20, throw out a number, but 15 it isn't. And I think that you're doing a good job as mayor, and I would like to see you compensated fairly for that. I hope that the next person who's mayor will do half of what you do.
Well, that's very common. I would like to point out, Councilman Bowles, that the money we spent on the easement at Amplified is from the hospitality tax, and that cannot be used to pay salaries of elected officials.
It could pay other things, and the other things to save money that could be used.
Generally not.
Yes, it could. That purchase could have been done with 10 grand.
Anyway, so we are now, discussing the minute, $36,000. Is there any for discussion?
Yes, please. When I looked over all of this, township's on is in a really unique position because we have such a checkerboard of unincorporated and city of Charleston and townships, just like Councilman Northern was saying, that it requires a lot more back and forth between council members for the different municipalities and different mayors and all of this. I think, I've been on council since I got elected. This is my 2nd year, and there's a lot, and I've been attending not all the meetings that you attend there, but a significant amount, and I can tell you that in my eyes, when I look at it, and I'm a business owner, and it's a lot to incorporate and fold all of this together, with the Reed Valley Road and Charleston County and SCDOT and all of this, and who does this or who does that. And Ashley, you're amazing. You work your tail off, and we are so thankful to have you. But I think that raising the salary would maybe take some weight off of Ashley and have give someone more of a desire to be more integrated, not saying, not you, but just for in the future.
Any further discussion of this? The amendment is to change from creative to. If there's no further discussion, all in favor of the amendment, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? So that passes. And now we're discussing the amended motion to raise the salary from 50,000 to 36,000. I guess that's over 200% increase. Right? Yes, for discussion, we're back to the motion.
Okay, there was a really interesting point all the areas on the land here, the closest that comes to either one of those areas is Mount Pleasant, instead of population 67,000. We created 42,000, about $30,000. And even Somerville is 43,000 people. It is 25,000. You can pay more Mary Bailey, Greenville, Florence, Morgan, and Aiken. So I do thoroughly understand Councilman Moses' goal of trying to get more people interested. I have an idea rather similar, to what expertise thing we just discussed. Is put this one in referendum. Now, last time I voted, Councilman Bowles made a point in time to try to get public awareness. Unfortunately, no one came today, one that was one, and I think a lot of that is because a lot of things changed with the COVID situation. And people were afraid to be close to this. I put this question on Nextdoor, and you know, I got 150 responses. And a good portion were against it. There were about 11 or so for, and it was like Mark, Marianne, Henry, they made good points. However, and I think to get interest in this, maybe we should put this in a referendum, because that referendum could be when we all run for re-election. If we pass this tonight, this wouldn't take effect until the next election, until the next term anyways. If we pass this, then I going out and I would think that could be that would be mayor. But it would get people out there to vote. They would be able to vote on the mayor, they would vote on councilman, and the amendment that I proposed, plus this other amendment. That would be able to drum up an interest. And we can put on there 8,000, 6,000, 20,000. We can do any of that at that time. To me, with service with people, they hire us, basically, they're all offices. And this is kind of paramount, like, in the cafeteria on lunch, and you think we need raise for our raise. I think we should be able to keep moving that. So that's kind of my proposal. To have a referendum for 2023, to put this on, on this, not this general anyways.
So is this an amendment to?
Oh, this would be an amendment,
So you're making an amendment to the referendum in 2023, and I will second to, that motion. Well, I'll second it. You were spoken to this there for discussion.
Yes, I do. If you consider the fact that we have a strong mayor government, correct? And there are 4 council members, correct? And we get paid $8,000 a year. So you, mayor, have to coordinate your staff, liaison with all these other people significantly more than any one of us do. I think it would be fair to say, because you've got all the town staff, you have to worry about all the public works, all of this. But any mayor who works for the town, James John, has a lot more stuff than the 4 of us. If you took our 4 salaries together, that puts you right at like $36,000. I think that makes more sense for the person who's overseeing all of this to be compensated more than $15,000 for the job that I can see from where I stand that it entails.
So I am not adverse to referendum. However, if it's not, you know, how without salaries, that is not the way it's done by state law. We are empowered to have advisory referendums for like any kind that we're willing to pay for. And if we do have advisory, we can have advisory referendum without paying. That would be completely legal. But if that referendum were to pass, then council would still have to vote after that to do it. And the salary change would still apply, I believe, after the next election. So if we were to have a referendum this November about this issue, and it were to pass, then instantly, would approve the vote. Okay, sorry, that's actually what we do it, if we vote by council. And it would apply to this election. However, I believe that if, 2023, we had to referendum at the same time that the council and all that, then it would just have no effect. And after 2023, then the new council, if they all pass it, it would apply after the next law.
Even if it weren't there, now like the minimum, I've never heard to that election. Ever, I did take consideration that we're looking at that for that following term.
But if there's no objection, I'll actually like to talk to you. Like a new amendment, so to amend this ordinance, call for a referendum in 2021 about the proposal.
Yeah, and then that, and still, if you're interested, you get people engaged, get people to come out, and get it to be pressure. So that's kind of a.
Well, I also, and so we further discussion about the offer amendment. So we would have a referendum in 2021 and advisory referendum about the.
We just know how the people feel about it.
So we've got 2 years. All right. I mean, if the vote is through, as amended to 36. They come clamoring to the board and say, no, that's absurd. This isn't, shouldn't be spent. The idea here is to generate interest in a position to get people's attention.
But
That's
then,
the whole point, to get people's attention.
let's say we have the election in November 2021, we come back in December, and then do what we're talking about right now, in just a matter of months. Then we would know how people feel at that time. We have, a winner of that vote.
One other election is happening in November.
This one.
So no one in the town will be voting.
Residents
They're gonna come to the polls just for a referendum, which is just not, I don't see that being. I don't see us getting an accurate sample size. If we do it that way.
Yeah, I think that's an issue.
The interest that I saw from next door showed a lot of people engaged in this. They were afraid to come here because I believe of COVID. That's why I did
Email.
but he didn't get grandma.
Well, so,
Email those, correct?
so, okay,
So we had,
okay, so any further discussion of the proposed referendum to amend this?
I think referendum is not the way to go.
See, I'm sure, but I do share Councilman Ball's concern that we aren't going to get a good turnout at the election. And I think that's a very important issue. If we had another town election going on at the same time, the personnel in town, I think that would get more interest. I just worried that we wouldn't get the turnout.
well, let me ask you this, right back when we started again. They have posed a very valid concern that if you do this in November 2023, we get that approval out, I already said, then we'll have to go to the following term to get that, pay raise in there. It would have to be for the person that did in 2027. You know, I see that's a valid concern, and, but however,
I think there's also a problem with the current council making ordinances that subsequent councils will have to follow. I think it can undo. I don't think we can vote on something now that will take effect in 2027. Or even in 2023, background council, whoever that is, I don't think the combined council is going to accept.
I'm sorry.
No. It's the, any referendum, the councilman, Lomax is calling for referendum, any referendum will be thoroughly adopted.
The vote that might follow. Which did not take effect until 2027, effectively given the handout already. 6 years.
So, yes, would be that, that the referendum, this council could not say that if the referendum passes, the council at that time could say, well, we don't care, this is truly, advisory, so they could say, we're gonna, not gonna pass this, we all.
The intent of this ordinance is to draw interest in the 2023 election. So if it were to work, it would have to be in place well in advance of the 2023 elections, so that people would know of it, would consider it.
The selfish, we,
I will make sure that anyone who runs against you remembers that they must be selfish and greedy in their running.
well, I mean, I just, I can understand.
If we went back, if we went back, if we went back to November
You get what you pay for.
if we went back to November 2023 scenario, I honestly think that would generate a lot of interest.
I respectfully disagree.
Okay, so I think I'm sorry, Councilman Moore, go ahead.
So, I'm really thinking of just going right back to, just go on, flip flop again, and right back to 2023 again, where we were, in 2023. Do the amendment back to that, generate the support, generate the interest, and just be carried to 2027.
Well, so I think that it's time to bring this amendment to a close and take the vote, and then you will still have to order. Okay, so, is there no further discussion on the amendment? Councilman Black, not supporting anymore, but let's go ahead and we'll vote this amendment to be a referendum in 2021 on the mayor's salary. Yeah, if there's no further, is there any further discussion on that? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed?
No.
So that fails. So we're now on the main motion, which is to raise the mayor's salary to $36,000. Further discussion? Right, so we're on the motion, if I said number, it's the, ordinance to, as amended, to raise the salary to $36,000. So I know Councilman Moore actually wanted to, try to win it again. You want to-
Yes, I'd like to look at it again, one last time, November 2023.
All right, I'll second that. Is there any, I think we have.
Sorry, I'll make this long.
All in favor say, for this amendment, you have the referendum in 2023. All in favor say aye. Aye, all in favor, all opposed. That fails. So now we're on the main motion to raise their salary to $36,000. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
No.
No, so passed. All right, so now we will go to, an ordinance amending the Town of James Island rules of procedure regarding agendas. Is there a motion in favor?
So moved.
Is there a second? Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That passes. Now the ordinance of the first reading, this ordinance 2021-06, regulations of the inspection and maintenance of private septic systems. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion?
Question about this. Sorry.
Go ahead.
James Island Creek empties out just east of Plum Island.
Yeah.
Right? Plum Island processes all of the septic in Charleston County. I think not all, they do a lot of it. I sent a FOIA request and I think it's only the 30 million gallons a day. Well, that's what they actually do every day that we can. And I know we've talked a lot about the septic tanks for residents being an issue. Does anyone talk or look at, is there any like flooding from Plum Island that is contributing to this pollution of James Island Creek?
We don't believe so, that the pollution is not around Plum Island. without the small mine, it's actually. And while there was actually dual on the north side of mine, this basic sewage problem is not near Plum Island, the worst part of it, Ellis Creek. All of our evidence points to human waste. And while there are sanitary sewer overflows from the sewer system, those are very limited. And that the most likely culprit is non-maintained septic system. So generally, it will be safer and for to have movement. And this regulation, of course, does not simply regulate, it also regulates septic systems, requires people. And so there are people in this community that live in areas where they're, they must have a septic system, and we only talk and they're saying septic what? And that they would put that pumped out every 3 years. And we lived there 20 years, we never. So people aren't doing it. So this regulation, this ordinance, how it will require people properly, septic systems that they are on septic. And then the sewer.
Not only to derail this question, it just occurred to me that there could be other.
Well, I think we have good reason to believe that Plum Island is not this problem.
So, are you good? Okay. I just have a couple of questions. Do we know how many tanks there are in the town of James Island? How many septic tanks?
Well, I can't tell you that. Yes, we have to give you.
Right. So what I was wondering is, I was looking at this and I thought about people that had septic tanks. And it just seems to me, and this is a good question, can we use the American Rescue Plan funds to perform the baseline inspections on the septic tanks that are in the town? In other words, they have to be pumped out the first time they get a baseline, and then they have to see if they're working well. And I guess that might be an onerous expense for some of the people that have septic systems, particularly those that may not know that at all. And if we can assist them with doing the right thing of getting a good baseline to identify the things that are not working, then perhaps we can better spend the American Rescue Plan funds on helping people fix the systems that aren't working. And if it's a septic system that's not going to work, and it's closer to a sewer line, it's working. But in other words, I guess I would like to figure out a way we could deal with the whole problem and not just certain isolated pockets. You see what I mean?
So I understand, I'm not sure whether septic tanks would be allowed.
Well, I did some research, and this is from the Brookings Institute, and it says that environmental protection agencies, clean water, state revolving fund, or drinking water state revolving fund are potential sources for helping with these kinds of investments that we would be making in our community. And it seems that we can use the American Rescue Plan funds to do these kinds of infrastructure repairs. Because essentially that's what we're doing. We're pumping it out and identifying a potential problem as part of it.
Also, I would like to mention, well, I don't actually believe that, that this requires everyone to really come out to this sewer.
But you gotta do it within 3 years.
It's not the first contact. They will do inspection, they may tell you or they may tell you that no. So
Well, but to
that
evaluate it, it has to be pumped out.
do that. Back there.
So
I have a question. If we're, and you were saying about not wanting to meeting. You know, pressure on home, not pressure, but, you know, financial hardship on homeowners. Unless, I mean, a lot of the homes that are on the water are pretty nice homes, and you're supposed to be maintaining your septic system anyway. So for the citizens who might have a financial hardship, there should be some sort of grant option somewhere to assist with this already on some sort of federal or state level, I would think. And if I remember correctly, when we were looking at this before, Council Bowles, maybe you remember too, that there were grant options for people who had septic tanks and could not, you know, financially afford to handle them. So that may be an option for the CARES money.
Right. And I think it'd be good to at least have that consideration when we're looking at uses of the money moving forward. And I'm really glad that we have this. I mean, I think this is something that we really need to have. And I thank our council for drafting this, because it is a good place to start.
Any further discussion?
Now, okay, that's all. That's good. That's good.
Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So that passes. All right, so next, we go to, ordinance, 2021-07, ordinance amending the fiscal year 2021 budget motion. To approve. Move second. Move discussion.
Yes, for amending our budget, and I just want to be assured that the council will maintain its spending authority on the use of these funds for all of the things that are associated. And I think that it's also important just to put in the back of our minds right now that we're going to have an element of public engagement with respect if we're going to have neighborhoods switch from septic to sewer. And I think that we just need to plan for that and make sure that we allocate resources to do that. I think education is a powerful tool. I think if our neighborhood representatives know what's going on and engage them early with what's happening, it would be a wise thing.
I agree with you. Further discussion.
I hope we can use that ordinance, that septic ordinance 2021-06 to evaluate all of these existing systems and make good decisions about how we're going to use our funds.
Yeah, other discussion. Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That passes. So next, we go to new business, and we have a proposal to advertise for the town attorney. Is there a motion in favor?
So
The second? Okay, any discussion? Let's speak to your motion. Hold.
Yeah, just kind of in line with, I do with raising the mayor's salary, that competition breeds good results. And maybe it doesn't result in any competition, but I think it's worth the effort to get out there and see what the interest is. And, we'll talk.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Opposed? Failed. So let's go to, the next is executive session.
I'd like to make a motion that we have a brief executive session
Just to get legal advice.
to get legal advice about James Rogers and your son.
Is there a second? Second? I second. Any discussion, or not, all in favor, say aye. Opposed? So passed.